Hey guys, welcome back to another video. You may have read the title and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Why are you stopping collecting banknotes? Well, I will give you a very logical reason, but I am not really stopping, maybe I'm just taking a little bit of a break because, I'm gonna explain in a while, but I actually have another banknote video planned soon, and I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but hopefully when I finally post it, you will like it. But I'll explain why I may be stopping banknote collecting for a while. So I want to show you how much money I have at the moment. So currently I only have this much. This is not because I've spent so much banknotes. I actually have way more than this, and I'll show you where it is later. But right now, this is all I have. So this is 100, 200, 300, 450, 450 pesos, and then some coins in here. Now, this 50 pesos right here, and these bunch of coins, these are my. This is actually this is actually how much I spend in school in a day. I only spend on public transportation in a day for school, because every time we go to groceries, I would buy so much food so that I wouldn't have to buy in school. And I bring so much food to school sometimes to the point where I get so full, I actually don't even finish my snacks sometimes. And I guess in a way that's kind of good, because, it shows that I don't really need to buy any food, and if I get hungry, I have a snack in my bag. The only problem is I have some classmates who, ask me for the goods, but I don't really mind. I mean, we share food. They give me their food, and of course I have to give them my food because we share. If I ask for their food, then of course I'll have to give them some of mine. But yeah, so you're wondering, where is the rest of the money going? Why are you only getting that much at the moment? Well, I have this box right here that says Singapore 27. And in this box are a bunch of 500 peso notes. Yes, I've put like probably half of what I've saved in this for next year. Now, why am I even saving up for this? Well, actually, I'm not the only one saving up for this. Even my hardworking parents are. Honestly, I don't even know why I've thought about this Singapore trip 2027. And Singapore is really gonna cost us a lot, which is why I also agreed to save, because in the first place I want to go to Singapore. In the first place, this is what I really want to do. This is what I want to do. So of course I'm going to save up. So right now I really am just slowing down with spending money. And I think it's really good that I've saved a lot over the past few months, because I have something to put in there. And what I've put in there is very, very big. It's not just a bunch of 500 peso notes, it's something big. And because I've contributed a lot, I'm left with this, but I don't care. I don't care if I'm left with this. That could still, give me something. But, yeah. So how much do I really get? Every 2 weeks I get my allowance. Now, I don't know why, or I don't know how, but I've just managed to kind of squeeze that into just 50 pesos a day. So, okay. So, call me rich kid all you want, but I get 1,200 every 2 weeks. And that 500, I take off 500 from the 1,200. That 500 is my 50 pesos a day for 2 weeks in school. And before, I used to just keep the 700 for myself, the 700 that's left for myself. But now, ever since we've planned the Singapore trip, like last week, I will be putting the 500 peso notes in that box. I will be putting 500 in that box and then keep 200 for myself. So I'm really like splitting my money into 3 pieces. Used to be 2, but now it's 3. And I think that it's better if I put 500 in the box more than 200, because it will progress much faster if I just put 200. I think that's how corruption works. You barely fund something, and when the time comes to spend it on something, it's not enough. You don't get the best quality, which is why we end up with some bad quality projects or ghost projects in general, because most of the politicians just pocket the bigger money and they give us the smaller amount. But what I'm doing right now is quite the opposite. I'm putting bigger into for next year, for next year's trip, and I'm putting smaller for mine. Now, I've just realized that this is quite a problem, because I spend money in banknotes sometimes, but I realized that maybe I should just slow down with my spending and maybe not spend some money for a while, and maybe let the 200 grow. The 200 is actually 400. Yeah, I just saw that it's a 400. So if I get another 200 by next week, it could be 600, and by the next week it could be 900. I don't know if I'm getting another allowance for April, but yeah. Oh, and that birthday celebration, it would be my 18th. So I am really nearing adulthood. Right now I'm 16. This year I'm going to turn 17. I'm really scared what life offers to me. I'm just so scared and uncertain of what life may bring to me, because I think of myself like really weak at school. I suck at science. I kind of suck at math, but I am doing some improvements with myself at math, especially with like complex equations. Actually, they're not really complex if you just listen to them, because most of the equations that I've listened to lately or that I've paid attention to lately, it's either you just multiply, divide, and add. It's the equations or the way that it's put that makes it look harder. And I was like, oh, so that's what you do. I was literally just staring at the board like it's quite easy, but sometimes when I do some math problems, I still have to have my notes. But either way, the important thing is that I get it. The important thing is that I get it. Now, another weakness I have is science. Now, I don't really know. My friends have joked, like, what are you gonna do with science and then all these gas laws if once you work at McDonald's? And I was like, okay, that's quite true. I mean, the customer would obviously ask for what's element number 113. Yeah. And it's quite true, but it's academics. Of course it's going to be like that, even if it doesn't really suit the job that you want to get. Honestly, me, I have a lot of dreams. I have a lot of stuff that I want to do. I want to be a drummer for a band. I want to be a musician. I want to be a newscaster sometimes. I want to be politician. I want to be basically everything that's in my dream. Could be related to money, music, aviation, politics. Right now, all I could think about is just being a politician myself and making change in this country. But of course, if I want to make change in this country, I have to start small. And that's me making videos. Anyways, I'm getting quite sidetracked, so yeah. And Singapore 2027. Another thing, or another reason why this is gonna cost us a lot is my dad thinks that I want to go to Universal Studios, or I think he wants to go to Universal Studios himself, but I think that he thinks that I want to go to Universal Studios. Well, if the latter is what's happening, I mean, I hope he's watching this. Look, I don't mind if we go to Universal Studios or not, mostly for the not part, because it's gonna cost us a lot. The tickets are like 6,000, and if we just spend that 18,000 on something else, I think it would be much cheaper. We'd be left with something. So the main reason, okay, I'm gonna tell you guys why I want to go to Singapore. Is because the place as a whole is very interesting. I've wanted to go to Singapore ever since 2023. Now, what does interest me about Singapore? What is interesting about Singapore? Why do I want to go to Singapore? Not because of the Merlion, not because of Marina Bay, not because it's, well, for some part, I do want to go there because it's rich. And why do I want to go there because it's rich? Because I want to understand how they became rich. They became rich because they are in the most strategic part of the Malacca Strait. That's where most of the ships carrying cargo pass through. And they pass through Singapore, and because of that they get rich. And I want to just observe how Singapore does their thing, because I want to do it in this country as well. What I want to do always and will always connect to this country, which is why I want to travel to other countries sometimes, because I want to apply what they have there to this country, which is why I do not mind if we don't go to Universal Studios. I mean, we could have some big entertainment parks here like Universal Studios, but mostly I want to go there for culture, for history, and for politics, of course. Singapore is a very interesting place for me. It's a mix. It's a mix. It's a melting pot of cultures. Singapore has 4 official languages, one of them being national, the national language being Malay. The official languages are obviously Malay, English, Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, and Tamil. And it's really interesting that they have these 4 official languages. Now, how did they even get to this point? Well, Singapore is obviously next to Malaysia, so obviously they're going to have Malay. But during the colonial times, the British have brought in some Chinese and Indian people, which is why there's some Indians and Chinese in Malaysia and Singapore. And to this present day, they're still here, and they've kept their languages, some of them even speaking dialects. And I think, like, ever since Singapore has, I don't know, did something with the language, everyone basically was told to stop speaking in dialects and to start speaking in Mandarin instead, because, like, it's a common thing. And I love how they chose Tamil, by the way. It's really cool how they chose Tamil and not Hindi. to represent the Indian population there. Maybe it's because most of the Indians that were brought in during the colonial times come from South India, which again, where the Tamil people come from. So yeah, again, I want to go there because it's an interesting place. I'm saving up for that. And maybe I'd get even more Singaporean banknotes, even though I've completed my set already. Maybe I'd get the 50, the $50, and yeah. Again, hopefully my family members are watching this. This is something we have never done before. I have never gone outside this country. And I'm not telling everyone, I'm not gonna tell you guys to like donate to me or something. No. Don't do that. Keep that money for yourself. I just want to make a video about this to you guys. Or I just want to make a video about this in general. Because this would kind of affect my content in some way. But it doesn't really, yeah, in some way it will affect my content, because you will see less banknote videos, but it won't really do anything. But yeah, the point that I'm the point that I'm making this video, I'm making this video to, well, I don't know what point I'm trying to prove, but honestly I think, well, I believe it's more of telling you guys that I'm trying to achieve something bigger. Well, not me, but also my parents. The three of us, we are trying to achieve something bigger. And this would be something bigger for me as well. See, I've always dreamt about achieving a lot of money before, which is why I save and save. I even avoid buying banknotes sometimes just to save up. Now, the highest money that I've saved, or the highest value that I've ever saved was 7,000. I'm revealing my financial history to you guys. The highest that I've ever saved was 7,000. And that was back in January. But ever since, it kept going down for some reason. I don't know what happened. But ever since January, it basically plummeted down. But the thing here is that my savings has never hit zero. It has never, ever hit zero. And that's what I'm proud of. I've never let it hit zero. If I do ever hit zero, I could just restart again. Don't be ashamed of restarting. Don't be ashamed of rebuilding. I rebuilt. Look at where I was back in January. It felt great. And I'm gonna keep this going. I'm gonna keep this going until we reach our goal. But anyways, that's the video for now. Thank you so much for watching this, and thank you guys for watching my videos. Honestly, if you weren't watching, if you guys weren't viewing my channel, I wouldn't be making these videos right now. But you guys are just, yeah. I love all of you guys. I love you, my viewers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't know why I'm doing this. I just love doing this. Anyways, I'm gonna stop the video now. It's 20 minutes, okay? Goodbye, guys.